All right. Sorry about that entire delay. But hello, everyone, and welcome to pCloudy's webinar on what's new in pCloudy 7.0. My name is Dinakar. I'll be the host for today. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping rules. If you've noticed, your line is currently muted. However, you can submit your questions using the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. And we will answer your questions at the end of the webinar in the Q&A session. Right. Also, please note that this webinar is being recorded, and we will share the recording with you and your colleagues later that you can use to watch again or share with your colleagues. With that said, let me quickly introduce the speaker for today, Shoaib Ahmed. Shoaib is a pre-sales manager at pCloudy. He has around 11 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Prior to his role at pCloudy, he has worked with Micro Focus as a pre-sales consultant. He has worked in an application delivery management portfolio, and he has catered to different technologies such as DevOps, automation, performance cloud, and mobility. So without further ado, let me hand it to our speaker, Shoaib Ahmed.
All right, thank you so much, Tinakar, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. We are back again now with the webinar. So thank you so much for your time. So today it's all about a new pCloudy release that we have. It's termed as 7.0. So we'll go in detail. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put down your questions on the chat box. We'll try to answer your questions at the end of this webinar. All right, so without further delay, let me just get started with a quick agenda. So we'll have a quick introduction about the platform. We'll talk about what is pCloudy, and we'll have a quick run through the different the features and capabilities that pCloudy brings in, and then we will have a look at the new pCloudy 7.0 overview. So we have come up with the latest some of the upgrades and enhancements and some new feature support when it comes to the pCloudy standpoint. So we'll look into that as well. And we have some integrations with some of the automation tools. We will discuss about that, and we'll have a quick short demo as well. And some new device additions that we have added to the cloud, some non-standard devices. We will look into that details as well. And then we'll have a Q&A. You can put down your queries in the chat box while we are discussing. So I'll take those questions at the last in the Q&A session. All right, so that's the agenda. So with that, let me just get started. So to give a quick overview on pCloudy. So pCloudy is basically, it's a continuous testing cloud platform, right, which provides access to the real devices and browsers where you can test all your different types of applications from mobile side, be it native, hybrid, progressive web apps, mobile web apps. And not just that, we also have a browser cloud instance where you can test all your web applications on wide variety of different browsers. All right, so it's a comprehensive solution that helps you, increase the speed of your application testing by enabling the continuous testing. So if you look at it, so these are basically the 6 different pillars where we cater our support. Device cloud, as I said, so there is a device cloud infrastructure where we provide the real devices with different manufacturers, different make model, different screen resolutions, where you can test your applications with. We have, again, various different offerings around the a device farm. And then on top of it, we also have a browser cloud instance where you can test your web applications in real time on real Windows and Mac machines with different OS versions, different browsers and its versions. All right, so it's a single stop shop for all your mobile and as well as web application testing needs from both manual as well as automation standpoint. And when it comes to automation, rapid automation, this is something to do with our codeless automation tool, right? So we also have another product called as Opkey, which is a codeless automation tool where anyone can create the scripts while they are recording. So it has a record and playback feature. So while you record, the entire steps gets recorded, and you can integrate this with pCloudy and execute your automation scripts. And not just that, we also have integration with different automation open source solutions like APM, Expresso, SXUI test, and some of the commercial automation tools like Test Complete and also Catalan Studio for that. So we will look into those details as well in today's session. And when it comes to executing the automation, so you can execute your automation scripts over a large number of devices and thereby achieving the parallel execution. So that's automation execution at scale. And we do provide rich analytics, in terms of providing the reports, to identify all your findings of your test scenarios, right? In terms of capturing the performance metrics, screenshots, logs, and videos, which can help you quickly analyze the report and share it to your team members. So that's test analytics. And then our tool, pCloudy, is capable of integrating with all the leading different CI servers, be it Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, Azure DevOps, and so on. All right. So on a high level, so these are basically the six different pillars where pCloudy caters in. Now coming to this slide, talking about the pCloudy was listed as an technology in the Gartner for the 2020 report, right? When it comes to how to build an effective remote testing competency. Right? So we have been highly rated by these industry analysts, by Gartner and as well as G2 Crowd. Right? So you can always look for this report, get to understand where we stand, and how effective we have been in this remote testing competency. You can just have a look at this report. And now let's come to the agenda of today's pCloudy 7.0 overview. We will look into the pCloudy Catalan integration. We have recently, had a successful integration with a Catalan tool, which is basically a commercial automation solution, where we have successfully integrated with pCloudy. Now you can execute your mobile and as well as browser automation scripts directly on pCloudy platform. It's very pretty straightforward integration. I can just run through a small video which can help you understand how you can execute your automation scripts. Some new device additions, as I spoke on the agenda. We have added several non-standard devices. When I say non-standard devices, could be a Zebra device. Zebra device is something which we have added to our platform. Now we are supporting Zebra as well. And then some new device additions like S23 on the Samsung side, and some of the other manufacturers where we have added. So we keep on adding as and when there are requests, and also the popular devices. And on the iOS side, now we are supporting the audio testing feature, right? So now you should be able to test all the audio functionalities of your application, or if you're trying to play back a video and if you want to test the audio of your application, you can actually test it with this feature. So I'll just run through this as well during our demonstration. And not just that, we are also supporting the biometrics authentication, right? So if your applications are authenticated through biometrics, we do support biometrics for both Android and as well as iOS. And we will look into the self-healing demonstration. So this is more towards from the automation standpoint. We'll talk about how self-healing can help you in the automation scripts for your maintenance part. And we will look into some of the visual testing capabilities that we are supporting, right? So what is visual testing, and what is all about, and how we can enhance your automation, right? So we'll look into visual testing capabilities as well. And then there are some additional features, right? So when it comes to from APM standpoint, where you can record your session at the test case level. So we'll have a look at that as well. Now, when we talk about pCloudy Catalan integration, right? So as I said, we have established integration with Catalan, which is a commercial tool. Now, if you are using automation and if you have created scripts on the Catalan, now you can seamlessly integrate with pCloudy, right? So it's pretty straightforward. There's no hassle of that involves many steps. It is very straightforward. You can easily integrate with your Catalan and execute all your mobile and as well as browser, right? So we are supporting for both mobile and as well as the browser. So if you have created scripts on the Catalan for your mobile and as well as browser, now it's just a one-stop shop for you. You can easily integrate and execute your automation scripts. So it's pretty straightforward, and I'll show you the flow how it looks like during a short demo video. Yeah, so this is on the both mobile and as well as browser automation. So that is one of the important integrations that we have achieved in the recent past. We are adding few more in the coming releases. We will have few more automation frameworks different on the open sourced sides, and also from the commercial side. We will keep on adding more and more. So that is work in progress right now. So for now, Catalan is something which is officially published. You can start using you can start integrating now with the pCloudy platform if you're using Catalan. And on the iOS audio testing, as I said, so this feature is something which is rolled out now for iOS devices. Now you can test your audio testing by enabling the audio test audio feature in. So after connecting into the device, you can simply enable the audio button which is available on the left-hand side of the features, and you can start do your test easily. So you can test it very easily for either it be a mobile app or if it's a website of your application and it has an audio capability where you need to test. So it's a single click of a button where you can quickly enable and start testing for the audio capabilities. That's around the audio test. Biometric testing, as I said, if your application is authenticated through biometrics, right, and you want to test your the other flows of your application, so it's very important that you go past this biometrics. So how are we going to test such applications which are authenticated through biometrics? So now pCloudy has support for both Android and as well as iOS devices which are biometrics enabled. So you need to quickly instrument the application. So that's part of a process. So you can, once you instrument the application, you can test the biometrics. So I'll show how you can test the biometrics feature using the Touch ID and the Face ID for both Android and as well as iOS. And if also not just for manual testing, even for automation, in case if you want to execute. So we do have APIs which you can incorporate within your automation scripts to test this feature. So that's the a new enhancement that we've got around the biometrics. Some new devices, as I mentioned, some non-standard devices like Zebra. This is something which we have achieved, right? Where you can test your application if it's a non-standard one, and you have some application which are dependent on certain devices. Then the good news is we have support for this as well. So we keep on adding. Now Zebra is something which we have successfully achieved, where you can quickly integrate or quickly test your applications which are device specific. So this is something which we have brought in. And also, as I said, some of the popular devices, there was a huge demand for Samsung S23. Now you can watch out for this device. You can look for this device on our platform. So we have brought this support that's on the platform. You can now start using this device for your testing purpose. Now let's talk about a self-healing plugin. What is this all about? All right. So when we talk about self-healing, right? So this is more from maintenance of your automation test scripts, right? So what it does is it automatically heals your test scripts, right, in accordance with the changes in your application. So the application changes over the period of time. As and when there is a new release, there are chances that the application, the objects and elements, the properties gets changed of every whenever there is a new release. Now, how are you going to manage those changes, right? So it's either a manual effort, right? So where you have to create the scripts again and again for every change, or simply use the self-healing plugin, right? So you have to, you can just incorporate this within your script, and so that the self-healing takes place automatically, and your scripts passes, and so there's no maintenance effort that is required. So there is a mechanism to it. If you can see it on the right hand side. So of course, when you're running this for the first time, you have to run it a couple of times so that all the required elements and the locators are available, and it is updated to the database, right? So, so if you're, so it's a sample script that we are, trying to hit when there is a change. If there is no element found, right, the script will look to see the element based on the object properties or the locators, right? And if it is changed at the backend, so the request comes back saying the element is not found. And now with the self-healing, the AI-powered healer utility. So what it does is it quickly checks within the database, so it gets the dynamic locators for that particular object, right? So the Postgres DB will have all the successful locators, right, and the dynamic locators in case if there is any dynamic. So it automatically creates the locators and it passes on to the self-healing utility, and thereby your script will pass during that iteration, right? It will not fail. So I have a video again where I'll just try to show how the self-healing works and how you can incorporate this within your automation scripts and how you can benefit out of this feature. Right. So that's self-healing plugin. Visual testing, we have discussed this in the past as well in some of my earlier webinars, but there are some enhancement that has been brought out. All right. So what is the purpose of visual testing here? Why visual testing? So visual testing is very important in today's time, right, where we are releasing the application quite often. So the app releases quite often, be it around different domains, be it from e-commerce side or a financial application side. So how are we validating any visual changes, right? Of course, functional changes you can verify by either through manual testing or through automation through scripts, but visual changes could be the shape, the size, or the color of an object could be different, or the text itself. So how are we identifying those things? So this is done through a visual testing feature, UI feature. So we have enhanced further with visual capabilities, which you can incorporate it within your automation scripts. You don't have to recreate the scripts. You just need to add certain validations within your script and also the commands so that you can quickly validate. As I said, it's very easy integration, which can help you do the quick validation test. And it's very robust, right? So it can identify the changes within your new build, if there is a new build altogether. And if you want to spot the changes, you just have to add these capabilities and run your script. So it will quickly identify and give you the differences of the image. So I'll run through a basic a demo again, a video, which can help you understand how the visual testing works. And when we talk about recordings, video recording, when we talk about test case recording, we're talking about the session recordings, basically, right? There was always a challenge, right? If your regression is running for a longer duration, maybe 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, how are we capturing the session, the entire session, right? So to capture the entire session takes a lot of space, right? And sometimes this might create a problem, and it's not necessary that you create a video for the entire session and then you try to see where the issue occurred, right? So there's a lot of time being spent here in while you are identifying if there's any specific issues, if you want to validate through the video. So now you have an option of adding certain piece of snippet within your test case at the test case level, right? You need not want the video for the entire session, but only for a certain test cases, right? You just need to add certain parameters here. So here is a sample snippet where you will be adding certain commands here within your script, and before the on the test case, on which are all the test cases that you wanted, right? You can start and then you can stop this recording. You just enable it and then you have to disable, right? Based on, so this is something a new feature, we can say feature support from the APM standpoint, which can help you during your automation execution, especially if you are running your test execution for longer duration time. So you need to just inject sample code, which will be provided in our documentation. and yeah, you're ready to execute your scripts, and you can start analyzing the test cases in a better way. So that's sort of the test case recording. And also there was a huge demand for devices on the public cloud, since the public cloud is based on the first come and first serve, right, on the device availability. When we talk about, though we have multiple instances, but at some point when you're running your automations, or when you have certain builds and you want specific devices to be available that during that particular point of time, now we have come up with a new concept of reserving the devices on the public cloud, right? Which is so you can actually restrict the device. So it has some commercials to it. You can discuss with our team what are all the commercials on top of your existing plan, all right? Existing licenses, whatever you have. So you can actually request for the new device, any device from the inventory, or the device is not available from the inventory, you can always request. So our team will get in touch with you, and and we'll bring those devices to you for your restrictions. Of course, as I said, there is a commercials associated to it. You have to buy the plan, and then based on the plans, you can start reserving the device, so that those devices are meant for you, exclusively meant for you, and will not be available for others. The advantage of having restricting the devices, this device is available for you 24/7. You're not dependent on the device availability. So at any given point, you can run your automation test cases, auto regression test, and so on, and you can block that device forever. Plus, on your existing plan, you still have access to other devices from the pool. All right. So from the device coverage standpoint and the device availability, this is something a very good feature that we have brought, which can help our testers and developers in reserving and blocking the devices and achieving their test scenarios. So it's a new feature, yeah, which we have brought on our public cloud. And some other upgrades when we talk about iOS enhancement. So we have moved to a new streamer support technology, right, which has enhanced the performance of an iOS devices. It's really fast. Now you could, if you have already used pCloudy in the past, and now if you really check the performance of the iOS device, it has drastically improved. The performance is way higher with the streamer support. We will have a look at in today's demonstration. Some usability issues are also fixed. Earlier, we had some usability issues on the iOS devices, so even that is fixed with the new streamer support. Faster device connection time as well. When we were transitioning from the older technology to the new streamer support, the connection time was something which was a little high than expected. Now we have brought this connection time to a very shorter duration as well. You can instantly connect to a device. So roughly takes around 20 seconds, right? And you can quickly connect and start connecting to the device as well. And also we have enhanced the sign up experience. You can quickly have a look at it, how the sign up process is all about. We have enhanced so that users can easily have a smooth sign up experience. So now let me get into the demonstration part and show you these different features. So let me just open the platform. All right, so I have just launched the website here, device.pcloudy.com here. Yeah, the sign up process, again, as I said, it's further enhanced. If you're a new user, you can click on the sign up button, provide your details, and then create your account. This is one way. The other way around is you can always sign in with the Google account in case if you are using Google sign up, you want to use it, or even we have integration with SSO. If you want to sign in with SSO, you can also establish the connection by using SSO single sign-on. All right, so let me log in and take you to the platform. I'm just signing in with my credentials. All right, so this is a quick landing page where we have various different features. So we will focus today mainly on the new features and the new enhancement. So let me just get into the devices section and acquire any device here. Let me filter for the Apple device. Since we have some enhancements done, right, I can just come here and acquire the device. Just click on connect. So once I click on connect, the device gets acquired and I can get started with my functional testing. Also, there is one more section called My Data, where you can upload all your the test data. It can be could be in the form of APKs and IPA file. So you can simply upload it all your APKs and IPA file in case if your application is in the form of APKs and IPA file, and in turn which you can upload it on the in turn you can install it on the devices section. For an IPA file, it's for an APK file, it's very straightforward. You just have to upload it and then install it. However, for IPA file, so there is a security restrictions from the Apple side where you need to resign your application, right? So to handle the resigning, if your application is a developer build, you have to resign it by using either use pCloudy feature called as resign. If you just click on this Apple icon, so there is an option you can quickly resign. So this remains same. And so once you click on resign, the application will be resigned with the same name, resign timestamp.ipa file. So now you can install this on any iOS device. All right. So now let me go back to the device section. So now the devices has been acquired. So this is the new streamer technology. All right. So you can see the performance of the application. It is very smooth, very flawless. You get to work on the application instantly. Yeah, right. I just tried accessing a sample app. On the website, I tried just opening. You can scroll down. You can see, how sensitive it is. Right. It's very smooth. I'm just trying to scroll through my mouse, and I'm able to do it. And also, if you want to swipe left and right, you pretty much do it. Right. If there are any applications that you want to install, you can pretty much do that. So when you do the swipe, make sure you do it within the device. So that the events, whatever swipe events that you do, gets captured and you are able to test it. All right, so that's about this. And we are talking about the feature that we have recently released, that is audio out. You can quickly enable this. If your application has any audio based testing required, you can quickly enable this. Now it's enabled. And you can just launch the application, whichever application that you want to test it. Say, for instance, to here, I can just go to YouTube. And if I want to play back anything, I can just play the video, and you should be able to hear the voice. Yeah, you can do this by using an audio feature. So you can test all the audio functionality. All right. So that's about audio testing, how you can do the quick test by using audio. And the next is on the biometric side, where we have we have a support for Android and as iOS device. I'll show it on the iOS part, which is on the Face ID, right? So if your application is authenticated through biometrics, right? It requires authentication through biometrics, and how are we going to test on a cloud platform, right? So we have a feature which can help you test all the biometric applications, biometric supported applications. If you want to get through the biometrics and test your application, right, other parts of your application, or even if you want to see how the biometrics, how it works, right? So this is the feature for you. So the prerequisite for this to use this feature is the application has to be instrumented, as I said. So to do the instrumentation, you just have to upload your IPA file, right? Make sure you upload your IPA file. So once you upload your IPA file, just click on the Apple icon and you see an option called sensor testing. So once you click on sensor testing, the application will be instrumented, and once it's instrumented, the application will be renamed with the same name, sensor timestamp.ipa file. All right. So now this has been done. This is the application which I had quickly done the sensor testing. So we are adding certain libraries within the application, right, which can help you test the biometrics in such cases. All right, now once the application is instrumented, I can go back and install the same application which I have instrumented. I can use the application here. Say, for instance, let me install. I have a sample app which where you can quickly do a biometric test. All right. So now the application has been installed. Now, if I want to use this Face ID feature, I can just click on Face ID, and there are two different options here, right? Passed and failed. So two different scenarios you can actually test. So when you click on pass, uh, what happens is basically we are passing certain valid responses to the application server, right? Where we are basically bypassing it, right? And the application. So once you click on pass, the authentication will be bypassed and your application will be launched, and you should be able to test the other functionalities of your flow. On the negative scenario side, if you want to fail this scenario, just click on fail. So for now, let me click here. Now it's ready. Now I have to pass the authentication. Just click on passed. So once I click on pass, yeah, you can see the success. The login has been successful. So it's a sample app. It does not have any other functionality. This is just to show the demonstration how the the Face ID and the biometric works. And on the other side, if you want to test the negative scenario, just click on fail. Go to Face ID. Yeah, the application did not allow me to launch. I did not see that login successful page. Right. So these are pretty much supported for both Android and as well as iOS, and not just for manual testing, even for automation. In case if you want to test the biometrics of an application or get through the biometrics, we have APIs. You can incorporate these APIs within your automation script and test your applications with. All right. So that's pretty much on the biometrics and also the audio testing. And we have pretty much seen the new technology. I would urge you, if you are a new user or if you've already been using pCloudy, I would urge you to just connect to any iOS device and test the performance of the application. It's really smooth. It's really fast. Now you can perform your test very instantly on the iOS devices as well. All right, so that's pretty much on the device enhancement side. Now let's discuss about the integration that we were talking about. The first such integration is with the Catalan Studio. I have a small video for the Catalan. Just play this video. Just for the benefit of the time, I have just created this video. All right. So if you are using Catalan for your automation test creation purpose, and if you've already created scripts, now you can seamlessly integrate with pCloudy platform. All right. To begin with, you have to do certain changes within your project settings. Once you launch the Catalan, you have to incorporate certain changes. Okay, by just getting into the networks tab, capabilities, desired capabilities. So you need to provide certain capabilities here. Choose the remote option and start providing all these details, right? This is the endpoint URL, and you can select as APM or Selenium. In case if it's a web application, you can select Selenium as well here. All right, and start providing these capabilities. So how you can create these capabilities? We also have a section on the pCloudy platform. You just get into the utilities tab and into the capabilities where you can quickly configure, right? Whether if it's for Android or iOS, so you can quickly configure all the capabilities depending on your need and get these capabilities. All right. So the capabilities are generated, which you can see on the right hand side. I can copy and paste these capabilities. All right. So it's very straightforward. So this has all the details, includes your username, the API key. Every user has its unique API key, and then followed by the duration. You can define the duration for how long you want to run your scripts, and then app package, app activity. So this is something which you have to provide for your application, right? And also make sure that the application that you are executing from automation standpoint, make sure that application is uploaded to the pCloudy drive, right? So there is a section called my data, where you can upload all your data here, right? Whether if it's APK or IPA file. So make sure that application is uploaded. So once it's there, you can add these different capabilities, and you can get started. So you can open your existing test cases which you have already created, or if you want to create it as a new, you can just create a new test case. So we're just trying to create one new test case here. All right, provide some meaningful name to it, and that just get started. So it's basically a keyword driven. So we'll start adding various different keywords, starting from starting the application to navigating to the application and then coming out of the application. So we are adding certain capabilities here. So let's get started by adding those capabilities. Yeah. So this is the capability that I am trying to add. Yeah, I'll just start from beginning. A mobile keyword. We'll begin with start the application. You have to make sure you use always the start application and then provide the application name, which you have already uploaded to the pCloudy drive. Right? Make sure you provide the application name here. Since I'm using a sample app, I can simply provide the details here. Right? Just enter the application details and click OK. And then maybe I want to just launch and then close the app, right? A small function flow that I'm just trying to verify it. And once it's there, you can execute it. Just click on run, go to remote and click on remote. So once you trigger the test, the execution will begin, right? As you can see, it has begun the execution. And now you can actually go back to the pCloudy platform. In the My Active session, you'll start seeing the devices coming in, right? You can actually monitor your live execution, right? You can come here further, you can click on live view in case if you want to monitor your execution. Live view is optional, so but it helps while you're debugging your application, right? So where it quickly launches the app and you can quickly see how your execution is going on. And if there are issues, you can quickly spot that as well. But otherwise, the execution will still happen at the backend. So the current scenario is it will just launch the application and then close the app. So once the execution is completed, the devices will get automatically released. Yeah. So the test case has been successfully completed. Yeah, you can see here it's passed. All right. So that's about how you can integrate Catalan with pCloudy and execute your scripts. Now, Catalan also has the record feature capability, right? In case if you wish to record and then playback, Catalan has that capability as well. And with that, you can actually integrate with pCloudy and execute your automation scripts as well. So there is one more small video that I would like to run for the this is for the record feature, right? So to begin with, let me just go back. Yeah, you can just click on the record mobile, select the remote devices, and in the cloud application ID, provide the application name and then get started. So now here we are recording the application. So the prerequisite here is again, whatever capabilities that you have defined in the project setting will still remains the same, right? It's just that instead of having your existing test cases, here we are recording from the scratch, right? So yeah, I have established the connection by providing the application ID here and make sure this application is already uploaded to the cloud drive. All right. So now I have connected the device manually. So this is optional. Again, I'm just trying to show you. You can see this even on the Catalan studio as well, right? You can see the application, the same application. And now you can start performing actions on it, right? What actions that you want to perform. For example, tap. I did just clicked on tap, right? It just got recorded. So you can complete the flow of your functional flow of your application just by adding this flow. So it's a record and playback feature basically. So if you're recording freshly, you can pretty much do this as well. All right. So yeah, again, and then I'm closing the app. Yeah, that's it. Very straightforward. And now you can execute this again the way we executed. So these are some of the new integrations that we have brought. One such is Catalan. So I hope this was clear on the Catalan side. All right, so now let's go back to our next topic, which is mainly on the self-healing capability, right? A very important feature, again, how it automatically heals. So let's take a look at this video as well again. I have a video created. Let me just open. All right, just opening up a video here. All right, so again, we have created one sample app, if you can see on the left-hand side. And it has some text which talks about terms and condition, and also a few buttons which talks about accept and the refuse button. And now if you see the property or the locator, the value of this accept button, you can see it's a resource ID. So this is my value. You can see there is an accept button. So this is my application, right? And these are my property, the values of my application of particular object. Now, if I have a new build altogether, right? And if the resource ID changes, what happens if I'm running my test, right? So let's take a look at it, right? So this is the ID. Let me just open the other, yeah. Now, if you see in my new build, right, uh, the property of accept button has been changed. It could be any other value as well. We are just taking an example of resource ID here. So instead of accept, it's just ACC now. So now if I am running my script without self-healing, the script will simply fail because it will it when it tries to identify with its locators, since it's changed, the script will fail, right? Now with the self-healing capability, I'm just adding certain piece of code within my APM script. The script should handle automatically. So let's take a look at it, how it's done. This is my script. These are various different capabilities. I'm adding certain values here for the self-healing, and then I'm running this execution, right? So let me execute the script with the new build altogether. The execution has began. On the left, you can see the console here, where you can monitor all your logs. On the left-hand side, again, you can go back to the platform and see the device, right? You can actually open the live view of the application. Yeah, now you can actually see it's a small script. It will just launch the application and tries to click on the accept button. All right. So yeah, so this will happen. So live you can actually monitor your execution in real time. Yeah, the application just launched. Yeah, and it got finished. Now, when you're trying to execute it with the new build, yeah, it's trying to execute. All right, the execution just got completed. Now, if you see, on the right hand side, right, there are logs captured. So you can clearly see here, right? So it says reason the element could not be located on the page using the given search parameter. So with the new build, what it happened is, since there was a change in the locator, when it tried to execute the script, when it tried to click on accept button, it did not find the capability, right? It did not find the element. And then again, the script tried running in again and again. And then it went for healing the property here. It tried healing it, and the script got successfully passed without any issues. So what it did in the backend was, as I showed in the presentation, all right? So there is a mechanism, all right, where it tries to identify. You have to run it multiple times initially. Then once all the locators are added, so the database will provide you the new locator, and this will heal the script automatically. So the maintenance of the script will become very much less. Right. So there's no dependency of creating the scripts and for every change again and again. Right. So this is at the earlier stage. We are still enhancing this feature. We are trying to incorporate this with various different enhancement with the support for the visual as well. Now the support is for only identifying the based on the locators and its elements. So that's about self-healing capability, right? Which is released to our production. You can just incorporate this by adding certain piece of a code within your script, and you should be good to test your application. All right. So that's about self-healing. And the next topic is on the visual testing. All right. So let's take a look at how the visual testing works here. How you can spot the differences of your of the script. Again, I have a video here. Again, it's of the same application, right? The application still remains the same, right? So the prerequisite for this feature to use is you have to inject the base image of your application. When we talk in testing language, the expected behavior of your application, right? So this is the base image. Now you have to inject this image to your project. Okay, so there is a sample app again, which has some text, terms and conditions along with the refuse and accept button. All right, so that's the base image. And then you need to incorporate all the piece of a code right? Which you need to add within your existing APM script. We did not create a new. We have a documentation page where we have provided all these commands. You can just add these APIs within your script. Okay, and then run it as just ng suit. Yeah, you can see the console, and you can just log into the platform as well. Connect to the device. Again, it's a small script. It's just trying to enter. So when I'm having a new build altogether, the expected behavior of the base image which I had shown, right? So it tries to compare with the new build, right? It takes a screenshot of a particular build and then it tries to compare and gives you the differential image, right? It's a small functionality, as I said. Yeah. So this is my new build altogether. You can actually spot the differences here itself, right? So there's terms but there's no condition, and then also the color of the refuse button has been changed. So the execution got successfully, right? And now I'll go back to my project, and then quickly look at the the screenshot that it has captured, right? So now we can clearly see with my new build. So there is a change. So there is no there's a text change. So instead of terms and condition, it's only terms and. So there is no conditions here. And also, if you look at the bottom of the page, the color of the refuse button is changed. Okay, so that's the screenshot that it's captured. Now, what Visual AI does is it will compare it with the base image which you have already injected to this project, right? And it will spot the differences and it will give you the differential image. Let me just click on differential image. Yeah, we can see. So this is the differential. So it will quickly spot the difference, be it a color change or any text related text changes. It will quickly spot the difference and it will quickly highlight. So this helps you to validate your application for any visual changes of your application, right? And thus thereby helping you with the device coverage, the test scenarios, test coverage basically from automation standpoint. Can test various different scenarios, and also the speed and the efficiency also increases, right? So yeah, so these are some of the enhancements or some of the new features that we have incorporated within our within a pCloudy platform. So there are a lot of further enhancements that is going around. So please we will keep updating, and also request you to follow us on to see the major updates that we do. So with pCloudy 7.0, these are some of the important upgrades that we have brought to this to this new release. So that's pretty much it. I think I have covered all the topics from Catalan integration to visual validation and also the self-healing capabilities. Right. So this session is again recorded in case if you want to further relook at it, you can follow it. And all these are documented. It's pretty much there in our documentation. You can go ahead and follow this process and just start using within your automation test scripts, thereby enhancing your testing automation test scenarios and further making it to execute with the speed and efficiency. All right, so that's pretty much it. I think we are very close to the time. So on time, 4 minutes left. So if you have any queries, please feel free to write down your queries and I'll be happy to answer to your queries. Okay, I see a few questions coming in. Okay, let me take this question. How easy it is? Okay, so there is a question from Rohan. He says, how easy it is to incorporate the self-healing? Is there any dependency of adding the libraries or just inject piece of code? Very rightly said, it's it's pretty straightforward. As I said, you just need to inject certain piece of code within your existing APM script, right? That's it. There is no dependency of adding any libraries to your application or to your code. just enter the sample code. It's there in our documentation, and you will be through it, and you can test your application and if you want for the test maintenance purpose using this feature. Yeah, I hope I answered your question. Okay, there's one more question from Srinivas, who says, on the visual testing standpoint, can I incorporate visual and self-healing together in a same script? Absolutely. You can incorporate both visual AI command plus the self-healing command within your same script, and you can actually test it together, right? So the visual AI will spot the difference, but the prerequisite for the visual AI is you have to inject the base image to your projects and then get the differential image, which will quickly spot if there is any visual changes on the application. On the self-healing side, based on the locators, if there is any change in your new build, if the locators has changed, the self-healing capability does the quick heal of your application, and the script will pass. So you can incorporate this within your script, both self-healing and visual AI, and test for these actual features. Yeah, I've answered your question, Srinivas. All right. There's one more question, very interesting question. It says, is self-healing right now is supported only for the locators, or does it also identify the image change or any color change? Okay, for now, it is only the support is only for the locators, right? If there is any change in the locators or any resource ID, it gets changed, so that it spots and does a quick support. But however, as I said, this feature is under enhancement. We are constantly improving this feature. So we will very soon we will have where it automatically identifies the other aspects as well instead of locators if there is any visual change as well. So the self-healing will have that property support as well in coming days. So look out for that as soon as possible. All right. All right. I think we have a few more questions, but I'll try to answer them one-on-one as we have come closer to the time. All right. So thank you so much for your time. I hope the session was useful. Look forward to work with you all. In case if you have any questions, feel free to write us back. You can just write. You can reach us out with your queries. I'll be happy to answer to your questions. So thank you so much for your time. Yeah, look forward for many more webinars in coming days ahead. Thank you so much.